everyone, and welcome to the V8 Supercars America series. I am Kane Craft. JD Smith not going to be with us today. He dropped his laptop, and so it's not working, and he don't have a desktop yet. So next week, hopefully, we will have JD back with us. Until then, give him lots of crap for dropping his laptop. We are here at Zolder today. Won a really good track here for the V8 Supercars. These guys are going to be beating this track up here today. See who all we got in the race. See if I can get some pictures up here for you guys. That's not quite right. Let's see if I can move that down there. That looks better. Alright, so qualifying underway. See if we can see how much time we got left here. Just under 4 seconds. Looks like Richard Elward is on top at the moment. With a 127.5. Falzano Nabi. Up in the second spot so far. Victor Tanaka in third, Sanjan Dalalik in fourth. Adam Zettinger in fourth. Adam moves up to the top with a 127.5. I'm having a little trouble with my internet, I think, as all the cars seem to be stuck. There's one that's moving. Michael Taliancic. Give me just a second here. I got just a couple settings I need to change. Alright, qualifying has now ended. Sorry for the little delays that I got going on here with the commentating. Had a couple little issues with my overlays, but got those fixed now. Getting ready to start the race. This is going to be an exciting race here, guys, at Zolder. The leaderboard has changed. I'll go through the qualifying results. Marlon Gamolin did qualify in the number 1 spot. Ian Ford with us tonight. He'll be in the 2nd spot. Victor Tanaka with a great qualifying result puts him in 3rd. Marty Carroll in 4th. Richard Elward will go from 5th. Valzano Nabi from 6th. Michael Taliancic from 7th. Cooper Murray from 8th. Jason Quire from 9th. Daniel Ackland from 10th. Sanjay Dalalik will go from 11th. Adam Zedinger from 12th. Raymond Stair from 13th. And Chris D'Angelo will be going from that final position today. So that is how the race is going to start. Everybody wait until that final second before they grid up. Now we got some drivers gridding. Alright, these guys are off for round 9 of the V8 Supercars America Series. Ian Ford and Marlon McMullen and Richard Elward out front to start. We've got Falzan El Nabi sideways right off the start. Ian Ford's going to go down to the final spot after a first turn incident. We're going to have to go back and take a look at that start, as it was certainly chaotic. Ian Ford from essentially 2nd place down to the final spot. Let's go back and have a look at that start just one more time. Alright, so chaos at the right off the bat really shakes things up here. We've got Richard Elward out in front, and he is out in front by quite a ways. He's got, see if I can get some timing up here, 1.4 seconds ahead of 2nd place Adam Zedinger. This is Adam's 2nd week with a good position up here at the start of this race. Sanjay Dalalik in 3rd. These guys got Marlon McMullen back in 4th. Marlon just seems to be kind of hanging out, watching these guys race, and just kind of waiting for an opportunity to get through clean, as these guys definitely racing close. Engine Dalalik to the inside of Adam Zedinger. These cameras here at Zolder are kind of frustrating. Sanjay Dalalik gets around Adam. Marlon McMullen's going to take advantage of that as well. He's going to move around Adam, and that's going to move Marlon up into 3rd spot. Sanjay Dalalik in 2nd. Marlin with a little trouble getting out of the corner there. So far, a great run from Richard Elward. Early race catastrophe gets Richard a pretty big gap. He's now got 5 seconds back to Sanjin Dalalik. Sanjin with a full second over third place Marlon McMullen. Victor Tanaka back and forth now as Victor's got around Adam Zettinger. Adam settling in the 5th spot. He's got Daniel Ackland back behind him in 6th. Marty Carroll back in 7th. And then Ian Ford has made his way up into 8th. So rough start, but things starting to kind of clear up here. Guys kind of lining up. Other than the big gap for the lead here. Over 5 seconds between Richard Elward and Sanjin Dalalik in 2nd. From there on, it gets to be a pretty close race. Just 1 second back to Marlon McMullen in 3rd. And then Victor Tanaka has caught Marlon McMullen now, racing for this 3rd position. Great run here from Victor. Victor called the race with me last week. Hasn't really been running this America Series all that much. He goes to the inside, takes the position away from Marlon McMullen. So far, a great run from Victor Tanaka. Adam Zettinger back in 5th. He's under pressure now from Daniel Ackland. Daniel to the inside. He's going to run side by side and goes into the... He catches the inside of that turn. He's going to be the next person to take a spot away from Adam. Adam's in danger still yet from Ian Ford. Ian's going to get position again. That's going to leave Marty Carroll back there. Marty's going to be wanting that position as well here before long. Marty's got Michael Teliancic back behind him. Jason Quire rounds out the top 10. Chris D'Angelo in 11th. He's still in the race as well. He's got Raymond Steer back behind him. Raymond's got Falzon El Nabi all over his bumper. So got races all through the pack here today. Victor Tanaka just doing a great job here today. He's up in 3rd. Ahead of Marlon McMullen. $40 laps here today at Zolder. I'm hearing these guys could save and get this thing done, saving fuel, but it's going to be a serious fuel saver if they're going to get it done without making a stop. Some guys might just elect to go ahead and take the pit stop. And while a couple of them may elect to save fuel. Victor Tanaka now has caught Sanjin Dalalik. And looks like he's going to be looking for position here on the 2nd place car of Sanjin. So great run from Victor Tanaka. A little confidence boost from Victor maybe since he's been running in the V8 Scops races. Been making the top split over there in that series. And comes back here to the America Series and doing a great job so far. I want to mention Ian Ford. Ian has now made it up into 5th. He's back behind Marlon McMullen. So it's a tough start for Ian Ford, but we're 5 laps in now, and Ian Ford has made up nearly all the positions that he needs to make up here. He's up into 5th. He's just got 4 more spots to go to get back up there to the front. Daniel Ackland back in 6th. A great run from Daniel so far. And then Adam Zettinger. Whoa! Michael Taliancic with the slide back there. He saved it though. And now, some more troubles. Go back just a little bit and see what happened there with Michael Taliancic. Yeah, big drift there. Gets him just on the outside of Jason Quire. And as he straightened up the car, a little contact from Jason went in and spun him around the rest of the way. So he'll get her straightened back up and get her going again. Tough race for Michael Taliancic. That's going to put him back in 13th. He'll be the last car running on the track right now. Cooper Murray is in the final position, but he is 4 laps down and off track. So let's check out our leader, Richard Elward. Richard just pulling away here. He's now 6.2 seconds ahead of second place, Sanjin Dalalik. A great run from Richard Elward here at Zolder so far. Sanjin Dalalik still holding off hard charging Victor Tanaka. Really impressed with the run from Victor here so far. I think we're going to see probably some of these other guys are probably fuel saving, which is costing them some lap time. Daniel Ackland now starting to reel in the 5th place position of Marlon McMullen. He's down to just a second back. As Ian Ford has moved into 4th. He's looking ahead to Sanjin Dalalik, he's looking ahead to Victor Tanaka, rather, who is 2.3 seconds ahead. I think we'll see him reel that distance in pretty quickly. Closest battle on the track is this race for second place. Sanjin Dalalik is in second. Victor Tanaka wants it. He is within half a second of Sanjin Dalalik. Still a great battle here for second. Sanjin Dalalik holding off Victor Tanaka in the sim ability machine. Victor Tanaka kind of just blew his way through the field here to get up into 3rd. Of course, that is where he qualified, I believe, but early race incident kind of cost him a couple positions. He was able to make those back up and get back into 3rd. Ian Ford from the back, clear back up into 4th. Marlon McMullen back in 5th. Pretty sure Marlon's going to be fuel saving at this point, because I think Zolder is a better track for Marlon than what the speeds are showing here. So almost positive Marlon is fuel saving, going to try to get this thing done without stopping in the pits. Well, I think some of these other guys may not be fuel saving. Richard Elward with a 7-second gap now between he and second place Sanjin Dalalik. Not sure if Richard's fuel saving or not. Let's go on board with our leader and just take a look and see if he might be fuel saving. he's fuel saving. So Richard knows what numbers he needs to hit in order to get this thing done. See him a lot of the time here at less than half throttle. Checking back on second place, Sanjin Dalalik. You know, the lap times actually suggest that these guys are fuel saving. They're the full second off their fastest times that they qualified at. So I think a lot of these guys are fuel saving. Let's go on board with our second place. Let's see how he's doing. I think these guys know what they're doing here as far as what numbers they need to hit in order to make it to the end of the race. The guys up front seem to be fuel saving to get this thing done. You see Ian Ford. Whoa! With a little loss of grip there. Marlin trying to get that fourth place position back from Ian Ford. I think Ian has started fuel saving as well at this point. He made it through the pack pretty quick to get back up here where he's supposed to be. Now I think he's going to race to his numbers and try to save the fuel his last lap well under pace. Marlin backing off just a little bit now after pushing pretty hard through that last section of track. Check back up here for third is Victor Tanaka is still on the bumper of Sanjin here. Victor probably the least experienced at fuel saving of all these drivers. He does seem to be being awful gentle on the throttle. He seems to be fuel saving, so even Victor Tanaka going to try to get this done with saving. I imagine nobody wants to stop here today. So back here in 12th place, Jason Quire has caught up to Raymond Steer. We're going to see a battle here for the 11th place. Jason Quire, definitely a top 10 driver. He's going to want to get up here and get up into the top 10. These guys, all these guys up here pretty close. So it can definitely be done. Chris D'Angelo up in the 10th spot. Up ahead of him, Falzan El Nabi has caught up to the group. He's going to try to get position on Marty Carroll. Marty has been watching his numbers very well all race long. Even when things got racy early on, Marty still just kind of kept it calm, kept racing to his numbers. Now he's got Falzon El Nabi really pushing pretty hard. Falzon relegated clear back to the back at the beginning whenever some contact right off the start spun him around and kind of had to wait on traffic and fell back clear to last place. Now has worked his way up into 9th. But looking at his best lap time, I think he's worked his way up while still trying to maintain his fuel numbers. So this one's going to be pretty interesting. I don't guess these guys have to save near as much as what I was thinking, according to the comments here on the chat. Adam Zettinger with just a little bit of a connection issue there. Makes it just a little challenging for the guys running behind. Let's go back up here and take a look at this battle that we still have going on for second. At this point, I don't really think that it's a battle. I think Victor is probably just following Sanjin and probably figures, because he is probably the least experienced of all the drivers out here at fuel saving. I think what Victor's doing is probably he's convinced Sanjin knows what he's doing and he's going to follow him and hope to meet his numbers the same way. So might be a good strategy for Victor, as this is probably only his second or third fuel saver here in the series, so it's definitely going to be interesting to watch. When we went on board, it looked like he was doing a good job keeping things nice and smooth. See Sanjin start to pull away just a little bit, a full second now ahead of Victor. So race starting to spread out just a little bit. Usually Zolder quite a bit closer here. She usually produces some great racing, but the fuel saver here today I think is going to keep these guys from racing as hard as they really would like to here at Zolder. Ian Ford and Marlon McMullen still running close together. I think if Ian makes a mistake, I think Marlon will probably go ahead and try to take that position. Otherwise, I think these guys just trying to race to their numbers at the moment. They are running about a full second per lap off pace. Daniel Ackland behind. Definitely can run fast enough to catch up to these guys, but with him also trying to make it to the end, he's going to be watching his speed as well. Whoa! Tough break there for Falzon El Nabi. Get it out there, Kane. Falzon El Nabi. Let's go back and take a look and see just what happened there that threw him off the track. Looks like he just went into the chicane just a little too hot, didn't get her slowed down, even made some contact there with Adam Zettinger maybe, and a tough break. but everybody's able to keep going. Falzon's going to go back to 12th place, so he'll start back over on his quest to get back up to the front. Just behind him, Raymond Steer doing a great job. Raymond, a newer driver to the series this year, new to the top split race here in the V8 Supercars America Series. Still learning the car, still learning the strategy of the races, but he's finishing these races up here with, still in the race. So just like every driver that's new to the series, he'll start out just trying to finish the races on the lead lap, and then he'll move up to trying to finish the races and stay with the rest of the guys, and then we'll start seeing him racing for these positions, and then we'll start seeing him racing in the mid pack, and then of course he'll start racing for his very first race win. So that's the progression that we always get to see these guys come in and start running in the series as a new driver, and it's really fun to watch these guys as they learn the car and learn to get faster. And Raymond Steer is definitely following that exact progression, as he's still up here in contention, racing for position on this difficult track kind of here at Zolder today. Up in front, Richard Elward still dominating the race here, 6.8 seconds ahead of second place Sanjin Dalalik. Sanjin and Victor still hold about that same gap, about 0.8 seconds. Just as I say that, Victor kind of runs down Sanjin a little bit here on the straight, and that's going to close him right up to the bumper. Back behind those guys, Ian Ford and Marlon McMullen still kind of battling here for this fourth position. Marlon is caught up now right to the bumper. Ian Ford, I reckon we'll probably see him go ahead and try to take that position even while fuel saving. I'm getting close to the halfway point here. Lap 18 of 40. With Marlon McMullen as he kind of backs off just a little bit from Ian Ford. Sounds like Marlon's pushing pretty hard, actually. So you hear a lot of tire spin coming out of that section. Ahead, Ian Ford must be pushing hard as well, because we're not seeing Marlon. Really don't seem like he's saving very much anymore here. We ought to see these lap times start to come down a little bit, because it seems like he's pushing pretty hard. Guys still grouped really well here for 7th place, 8th place, 9th place. 10th place, even 11th place, still pretty close. See Chris D'Angelo back here, as well as Raymond Steer. So, guys sticking together pretty good here at Zolder tonight. Falzone will now be going to the inside. That's going to push his teammate a little wide, but Talyancic is going to go ahead and give Falzone that position. Falzone looks ahead to Marty Carroll. On board with Marty Carroll as he follows Adam Zettinger through the course here. Marty usually listens to the broadcast while he's racing. I have no idea how he does it and is able to concentrate and keep that car on the track. But doing a good job so far tonight. Of course, the commentary kind of boring compared to what it normally is. So he's probably more in danger of falling asleep than he is of losing concentration. Victor Tanaka in the lane. So our first casualty of the night, Victor Tanaka not able to save, even though he tried his best staying behind Sanjay Dalalik. Just not able to meet the numbers required. He's going to pit at lap 22 and come back out. He'll be at the bottom of the list here in 13th, of course. I have to see if anybody else is going to pit or if everybody else is going to make their numbers. That's going to put Sanjay Dalalik all alone in that second place. He's got Ian Ford 8.6 seconds back, and then 7.2 seconds up to Richard Elwood. Ian Ford, Marlon McMullen, and now Daniel Ackland, all within striking distance there for that third position. Lap time still holding strong in the fuel saving area. All of these drivers here can easily run in the 127s. Well, I don't know if that's easily, but they definitely, in 22 laps, would get down in the 127 range. But we're definitely seeing them intentionally hold it back into the high 128s in order to save fuel and have enough fuel to get through this thing without stopping. I want to take a second to thank everybody for joining us and watching here tonight on iRacing Live and on the V8s Online YouTube channel. Do want to apologize, JD, not with us here today. That leaves me here all by myself, and not nearly as exciting with just one commentator, that's for sure. And then, of course, it's a fuel saver on top of that, so these guys kind of just staying in line. See some other guys hitting pit road. Looks like our leader down in the lane. Richard Elward in for his pit stop. Sanjin Dalalik in as well. Boy, I've been calling this thing wrong all this time. Unless these guys were fuel saving and just all of a sudden realized they weren't going to make their numbers. Richard out as well as Sanjin Dalalik. So Richard Elward comes out in 7th position, just ahead of Marty Carroll. Sanjin back in 11th. Just that little bit of time that Richard came out ahead of Sanjin put him in front of this group of cars, and Sanjin comes out just behind the group of cars. So several positions difference for those guys. Chris D'Angelo now in the lane. Or not. It shows him as being in the lane, but not seeing it there. There it is. Alright, so now it's calling Ian Ford the leader, with Marlon McMullen 1.5 seconds back. Daniel Ackland in 3rd, 3 seconds off the bumper of Marlon McMullen. Falzon El Nabi up into 4th. Falzon, I would expect to see Falzon hit pit lane, as he's made had a few incidents here today, and has really had to run hard to run back up through the pack a couple times. So probably see Falzon pit for sure. Daniel Ackland pitting. So really curious how many of these guys not going to make it on saving fuel here today and going to hit pit lane. I thought I was pretty sure about the leader and Sanjin fuel saving, but we've seen those guys pit. Now Ian Ford and Marlon McMullen, these guys have really seemed to be fuel saving all race long. I would put money on the fact that they've been fuel saving, and so we'll have to see how things go for these guys. Adam Settinger now up into 4th. He's got Richard Elward in 5th right behind him. Michael Talyancic in 6th. Marty Carroll back in 7th. Sanjin Dalalik in 8th. Jason Quire in 9th. Victor Tanaka back into 10th. Daniel Ackland in 11th. Raymond Steer in 12th. Chris D'Angelo back in 13th after just completing his pit stop. Closest battle on the track at the moment is this battle for 4th. Adam Zettinger has the spot. Richard Elward wants the spot. Richard certainly has the fuel to get the job done now. His lap times are definitely showing a much quicker pace, as he is down in the 127s. So I think those guys were fuel saving. They just didn't quite get enough saves, so decided to go ahead and pit so that they could run hard for the rest of the race, and that's exactly what they're doing. But Adam Zettinger hasn't pit and I don't think if he is trying to save fuel, I don't think he could afford to try to race Richard Elward like this. Alright, so Adam Zettinger not only holding off Richard Elward, but he's catching up to Falzon El Nabi here, and probably be looking to take that position here before long. Falzon's numbers still indicating that he's fuel saving. Apparently Luna agrees. She's getting awful excited. For Adam catching up here to Falzon El Nabi, going to see a battle here for third. Of course, Adam, a great race. Was it last week? Maybe the week before? Finished up in second place, I think, or at least held second place for a long time, and then ended up finishing third or fourth, but a great run nonetheless. And seeing him do the exact same thing here today. So Adam Zettinger, definitely an up-and-coming driver to keep your eye on, as he's really showing a lot of talent here this season. He's going to go a little wide to try to get some kind of position on Falzon. Richard Elward's going to take advantage of that, and he's going to scoop up that position there from Adam Zettinger. He's going to look ahead to Falzon. The gap is only growing between Ian Ford and Marlon McMullen. So that tells me that Marlon has looked at his numbers and said, I've got to back off even more. And so he's slowed down another tenth, nearly a full second actually, from what he had been running, high 128s. He's now at high 129s. So trying his best, as he's now made it around Ian Ford. So let's go see if I can go back just a little bit and see what happened to Ian, if he went off track or if he just really started fuel saving. Oh no, I see what happened there. He got some wheel spin and just spun her right around. That's going to put Marlon back into that number one spot. And now Ian's going to be the one about 4 seconds down. Not going to forget to go back to live this time. Well, Ian definitely, if he's making his numbers, Ian Ford definitely has more pace while saving than what Marlon is showing. So with 11 laps still to go, we could definitely see Ian Ford catch those 4 seconds back up and contend with Marlon for the race lead. Because Ian had been going about a full second faster each lap than what Marlon has been, at least for the last 4 or 5 laps. Whoa, sounded like Marlon about did the same thing Ian did last lap. Got some serious wheel spin. Alright, so Adam Zettinger has got back around Richard Elward and into that 4th spot. looking ahead again at Falzon El Nabi. So Falzon has had a lot of bad luck this race, but has raced back up and got into this third place position. It makes me really curious about his fuel, because he's had to have run a lot harder than what he anticipated to try to get through the field. As many times as he's had to come back through the field, I think 3 times here today. Really good battle here between Richard Aylward and Adam Zettinger for this 4th position. Richard has passed Adam a few laps ago. Adam able to get it back. Now Richard going to try and take it over again. He is going to get that done. And Richard Aylward up into 4th. Back behind those guys, Michael Taliancic, just ahead of Sanjin Dalalik. Sanjin has been up in the number 2 spot all day long. Unable to meet his fuel numbers. Went ahead and pitted about 10 laps ago. And now trying to race his way up through the field. He is, looked like he's going to go for it just then, but thinks a little better of it. He'll wait for another opportunity. Taliancic with some tough luck early in this race, as well as lost traction around one of the turns and kind of drifted it. I believe it was that turn right there, actually. Kind of drifted it long, drifted the turn, and then as he straightened the car back up, somebody was on the outside of him, made contact, spun the car around, and took him back into last place. So he's had to do some catching up as well to get up into 7th place. Sanjin's going to get that spot back. Adam Zettinger now to the outside of Falzon El Nabi. He's going to get the inside through the chicane and move into 4th spot. Really impressed with Adam. We'll see if he's got enough fuel to make it to the end, but his driving these last few weeks has really been really good. A great addition here to the V8 Supercars America Series. Alright, so checking back up here at the front, Marlon McMullen is in the lead after Ian Ford lost traction coming out of the chicane and spun it around. That knocked Ian down to 4 seconds behind. Ian now 1.5 seconds behind with 8 laps to go. So Ian Ford definitely reeling in the leader here. And that's probably the toughest time to be fuel saving, is whenever you're catching up to the position in front of you like that. Knowing if you push it just a little bit harder, you're going to catch them. But fuel numbers are so close, if you push it just a little bit harder, you may run out of fuel. So it's going to be a great battle to watch to the end and see if both these guys can make it on fuel. Both these guys pretty good at fuel saving, I would say. So definitely going to be interesting to watch. Richard Aylward, the first of the cars that have pit. He is in 3rd place now. 22 seconds behind the other guys, behind Marlon and Ian. So Richard has made his way around Adam Zettinger. Adam is not showing a pit stop, although he is racing like he is pit, but showing that he has made a pit stop. Alright, so the battle has intensified here for the lead, as Ian Ford now within half a second of the leader. Lap 33 of 40 here at Circuit Zolder. This is the alternate route around Zolder, as that final chicane runs in kind of a strange direction. Ian Ford now to the inside of Marlon McMullen. Marlon's just going to let him have it as he sees that Ian has the obvious pace here. Maybe Marlon will be able to save a little bit of fuel back behind Ian and have enough to race for this thing at the end, but with 7 laps to go, it's not looking good. But a second place finish here tonight on a race that split will be pretty good points, probably better points than what the Thursday race was, so he'll still be happy with a second place finish here. Going to go through the list of drivers that are trying to fuel save with 7 laps to go. We got Ian Ford, who has not pit. Marlon McMullen has not pit. Adam Zettinger, Falzon El Nabi, Michael Taliancic, Jason Quire, Marty Carroll are your drivers that have not pit and are going to try to get this thing done in one stint. And just 1 lap there, Marlon has fallen back to a 1.5 seconds off of Ian Ford, so Ian Ford definitely saving quite a bit better than Marlon at this stage. Quite a bit more pace. Five laps to go. Six laps to go. And a couple of the drivers that I'm going to be watching to see if they can make it all the way. Falzon El Nabi and Michael Taliancic. And probably Adam Zettinger. Adam raced really hard with Richard Elwood there for several laps, and if he's trying to fuel save, he was racing pretty hard for fuel saving, so it'll definitely be one to watch to see if he can make it all the way to the end. Right, Adam Zettinger has pulled away 5 seconds now from Falzon El Nabi. Falzon's last lap of 1:30.38, so definitely having to slow down quite a bit more to try to make it to the end here. I think it's going to be real close for Falzon. He's definitely had a tough race here today. He's got some Sanjin Dalalik all over the bumper here. Sanjin kind of in that difficult position. No, Sanjin's pit, so Sanjin should have the fuel to get to the end here. And you'd think that he would make quick work of Falzon El Nabi here and take that fifth spot pretty quickly. Back behind those guys, Victor Tanaka. Whoa, that was close. Tried to get position through the chicane. It looked from my angle like they didn't make contact, but boy, it was close. Victor has pit, Michael has not. So Victor probably has a little bit of pace over Michael Talyancic. I think Michael just kind of tried to pull out of the way and let him go. Daniel Acklin back in 9th place. Had a great start to the race. Good first half of the race for Daniel. Really raced hard with those guys up there, up front. Really stuck with them. And now this final half has kind of slipped back. He's back in 9th place, 5 seconds from Michael Talyancic after his pit stop. Lap 37 of 40 here at Ian Ford. Now 2.1 seconds ahead of second place Marlon McMullen. Richard Elward back in third, 17 seconds from those guys, as Richard has pit. Adam Zettinger back in fourth. He's trying to make it all in one stint. He's about 24 seconds from the leader. 4 seconds from Richard Elward up in third. Sanjin Dalalik in 5th place, Victor Tanaka in 6th, Falzon El Nabi in 7th, Michael Talyancic in 8th, Daniel Acklin in 9th, Jason Quire in 10th, Marty Carroll in 11th, Raymond Steer in 12th. He's got Chris D'Angelo all over the bumper of Raymond Steer. We're probably going to see a battle there for that 12th place before this thing's all over. As this race winds down, check in on the drivers that I'm kind of concerned about making it all the way to the end. Adam Zettinger. Seems like he's going to make it. I mean, he's got 2 laps, and he's still running to his numbers. He's mid 129s. He don't look scared. So I think he's probably going to make it. Falzon El Nabi back in 6th. He's running down in the 132s. I would say he's scared. He's got Michael Talyancic, teammate, back behind him. Both guys fuel saving, trying to make it to the end. Both seem like they're probably pretty close on fuel. Daniel Acklin now under pressure from Victor Tanaka. timing sheet's showing 2 pit stops for Victor Tanaka. Sometimes it does that, even though they only pit once, so I'm not sure if he had to pit again or not, but it's showing 2 stops for him. There Taliancic goes. He's going to take over that spot from Falzon El Nabi. That's going to move Falzon down to 7th and move Michael Taliancic up into 6th. We are on lap 40. Ian Ford, your leader. He's had to come all the way through the field while fuel saving to get up here into this spot. He's gained almost 5 seconds over Marlon McMullen in 2nd. He's running great times. He don't look scared at all. Like, he does not look scared that he's not going to make it to the end. So, pretty sure Ian Ford's going to make it. Marlon McMullen in 2nd. His times are still mid 129s. I think he'll make it, but I think he's going to be close. I don't think he's quite scared because his lap times haven't slowed down all that much. Yeah, he is going to make it. All right, great job, guys. Ian Ford, if it would click over to him. There we go. Your winner, Ian Ford from Evolution Racing Australia. Your winner here tonight after not only fuel saving, but coming clear through the field while fuel saving. A fantastic run from Ian Ford. Marlon McMullen in 2nd. Richard Aylward is going to bring it home in 3rd after his pit stop run. Adam Zettinger in 4th. Sanjin Dalalik in 5th. Michael Taliancic with a race to the finish with Daniel Ackland. Michael Taliancic is going to take 6th. Daniel Ackland in 7th. Victor Tanaka in 8th. Falzon El Nabi, he is going to make it clear to the finish. He'll finish in 9th though. Jason Quire in 10th. Marty Carroll is going to be close. I think he's out. That's going to let these other 2 guys by, Raymond Steer and Chris D'Angelo, as Marty Carroll is going to putter across the finish line. He is going to get the job done, if only barely. There it is. He's made it. So Marty Carroll in 12th. It's showing Chris D'Angelo in 13th. Well, let's run through the results here. After 40 laps at Zolder, Ian Ford has brought it home in the number 1 position. 5.7 seconds ahead of 2nd place Marlon McMullen after a fuel-saving race. Richard Aylward in 3rd. Adam Zettinger in 4th. Sanjin Dalalik in 5th. Michael Taliancic in 6th. Daniel Ackland in 7th. Victor Tanaka in 8th. Falzon El Nabi will bring it home in 9th. Jason Quire in 10th. Raymond Steer in 11th. Chris D'Angelo 12th. Marty Carroll in 13th. And Cooper Murray finished out in the very first lap, I'm pretty sure. He'll finish in that final position. Well, kind of a slow going race here at Zolder because of the fuel saver, but it definitely, I kind of like the fuel savers. It makes for kind of a slow broadcast, not as exciting as some of those faster paced races, but it really adds some strategy to the mix, and you get to see which drivers are able to slow the car down and meet their numbers and get through the race. Ian Ford definitely proved to be the very best at it here tonight. Not only making it to the finish, but doing it quite a bit faster than everybody else, making it clear through the field. and bringing it home in the number one spot easily. So a great race from Ian Ford. Evolution Racing Australia, a fantastic job there for the Ian Ford machine. Let's bring in the race winner here, Ian Ford. There we go. Now I got that button working. Can you hear me, Ian?
Yeah, sure can, man. How you going?
Good, awesome race. It was you definitely proved to be the very best at saving fuel here today. You not only saved the fuel that you needed to save, but you ran quite a bit faster than everybody else while doing it. Made your way clear through the field in order to get into that number one spot, and then just even pulled away from there.
Yeah, it was quite a good race. I was a bit stressed out with Marlon sitting behind me for so long. I thought he was saving a bit more fuel than I was for most of the race. But fortunately enough, after that spin that I had, had enough fuel saving done that I could actually kick it up into a bit further up the rev range every time, and actually came back at him pretty hard. And once I cleared him, I just made sure that I had enough fuel to actually make the finish. And after that, it was just full flat. But that's a good result considering I absolutely made a mess of quali, and I was even off the road at turn one. So it's a good job, and it was quite nice racing some of these guys, and it's awesome to see a split strategy race, especially when like one of the people that went the alternate strategy, which is actually pitting, finished off in third. That's quite a good achievement.
Yeah, it is. That's what I was saying. These races, these fuel savers that can go either way. If you pit or fuel save, it kind of comes out pretty close. This is the second one this season that we've had. The other one actually quite a bit more close on the if you fuel save or pit than this one was, but still kind of nice to have one of these every once in a while. It makes for kind of a slow show, not nearly as exciting as some of the sprint races that we have, but it definitely shows the talent of the drivers a little more to be able to race to the numbers and get through an entire 40 lap race here at Zolder with one tank of fuel.
Yeah, certainly. You've got to think about keeping track of fuel. You've got to try and play your cards right, like to set up an overtake when you're actually fuel saving and those sort of things. But at the same time, you've got to be very wary of the guys that actually pit and come out with new tyres. Like we saw Richard come out, he was like full guns blazing behind Adam and those boys. They were trying to fuel save to the finish. So it was it's one of those things you've got to balance out everything. You've got to look at all the aspects of the racing and track and everything, and try and fuel save where you can. But luckily enough, I came out on top tonight. But I can't wait until next season. Hopefully, there's going to be a bit more strategy at play and shorter races, and fingers crossed everything works out for next season.
Well, real quick before I let you go, Ian, tell everybody about your new project you're doing with your new web page.
I've just started up a blog. I'm just trying to get some of the myths that are out there about this car and a few other cars out there. Like I've just done a thing on aerodynamics and like how wings can actually stall out. Like even on the V8, if you set up the car with too much or too little rake, you can actually stall out the rear wing, making your life a lot harder for yourself. And I'm trying to write up a thing on dampers, but as you know, they're tricky things. So I'm trying to make it as accurate as possible, so I'm not not drawing people in the wrong direction. So that way everyone can learn, and you don't have to go looking here, there, and everywhere for setup hints and stuff like that. So just trying just trying to even up the playing field with guys that may not have enough time to do setups properly, all that sort of thing. So hopefully it helps people out and moves them forward. And I've got a fair bit of experience in like open wheelers and everything like that as well. So I'm trying to combine it all so everyone like no matter what class they go to, it's like the philosophy will be the same.
Well, awesome job with that. I like watching as people try to do their best to help out the community, and there's a lot of people here in the V8 Supercar community that really try to help out the community as a whole. And you're definitely up there on that list as well, with not only some videos on teaching drivers the braking techniques, and now your whole web page dedicated to help teach people how to not only drive this car but other cars as well. So appreciate the help that you do for the community as well. A great run here tonight. Anybody you want to thank before you get out of here?
I'd just like to thank all the boys that have been helping out in the background of the team this week. We're not only trying to set up a car for Bez, like the Blancpain Endurance Series, but also the V8, like open wheelers, those sort of things. But also we're trying to do the 4-hour VLN race at the Nordschleife on Monday morning, so that's going to be quite an experience. We're just throwing together a team to drive the Kia around there for 4 hours. So it's everyone's going everywhere at the moment. But other than that, just like to thank Adam and boys like that put time in the V8 and try and help me figure out which direction the setup needs to go, especially around tracks like this where it's more it's more important to get the setup right to jump the curbs and those sort of things than anywhere else.
Well, thanks again for joining us post race. Ian, great job on the fuel saving. You definitely showed how it was done, and we'll see you next week.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you. Oop. Sorry about the delay, guys. I actually have to type this in before I bring in the next driver, and I'm kind of slow at it without JD here to help. But next, we're going to bring in Richard Aylward into the post-race show. Richard, thanks for joining us here in the post-race show. Great race. It started off looking good. I was pretty sure you were fuel saving there at the start. Maybe just didn't quite make the numbers, or was your strategy to pit from the beginning?
Yeah, hi Kane. Look, no, I didn't have any strategy, mate. I got in a bit late and didn't do the prep, but I was just going to go for it. I figured Ian and Marlon would probably fuel save. I fuel saved this one last season, but thought I'd just go for it. But then I got a bit too conservative once I got to about 7-8 seconds out in front and needed to keep pushing harder. And then I got caught in a bit of a battle between Adam and Falzan. They were going pretty hard at each other, and that slowed me up a bit.
Yeah, I was thinking when that battle was going on that was really hurting the strategy there with the pit stop, because you were about 20 seconds back, and I think because you pitted on lap 22, you would have been pretty darn close, being a full just over a second faster than the other guys. I think you probably could have caught him and had a good race there to the end, but some serious battles there about mid-pack or so definitely held you up a little bit. But it's great seeing you in the series again, and I love seeing you in the new car. Of course, it's not really all that new anymore, but still love seeing you in the new car and on the new team. Definitely shows, and your speed on the track uh, and everything. So congratulations to that as well.
Yeah, cool, mate. Yeah. I figured, I probably could have been 5 to 10 seconds closer to Marlon, and that might have made a bit of difference. But yeah, once I went for it, I figured if Marlon and Ian get them, then that's probably normally where I would end up anyway. So I thought it was worth a crack just having a run at it. So yeah, it was a good race, and yeah, it all's going well with the team. So it's no complaints.
Well, awesome job. How are things looking for next week? Have you done any runs on next week's track? I looked earlier to see what it was, but now I can't remember for the life of me.
Jeez, mate, I don't know what it is either. You mean in the official series? I've got no idea, Kane, what track it is. Is it Mosport?
Well, I'm bringing it up here. It is. It's Mosport.
Okay, yeah, that's one of my favourite tracks. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it as well. Now that I see what track it is. So hopefully we'll see you next week, giving Mosport a shot.
Yeah, thanks, Kane. Yeah, thanks for doing the broadcast and everything as usual. It's good to have that, and it's good for us to have something to look back on and what happened.
Yeah, I love doing it. JD as well. He's not with me here today. He dropped his laptop through the week, and it definitely took it out of commission. So he's waiting for his desktop, and then he'll be back in here in the booth to finish this off. He's definitely a lot better at this commentating stuff than me, but even so, I still will come and get this show done for you guys because, man, the racing here is just so good. It deserves a broadcast, so I'm going to make sure that it gets one every week that I'm available, even if it's going to be a bad one. But I don't think this one turned out too bad. Definitely better than the NASCAR one midweek, so I'm happy about that.
All right, mate. Yeah, no, you both do a great job. Thanks.
Thanks, Richard, and we'll see you next week at Mosport.
Cheers.
Next, we'll bring in Marlon McMullen. If I can get this to change. There we go. Marlon, welcome to the post-race show. Great run. Fuel saved the whole way. Looked like it got a little tough fuel saving there toward the end. You got a challenge for that position up there, and probably ate a little bit more fuel than what you was wanting.
Not so much that. It's more my computer towards the end of the race and the middle half. I was rocking about 40 frames per second. So, I mean, there's not really too much you can do. That's why I didn't even bother to put up a fight. So, it was just one of those days today, you know. I knew last week, coming into this week, I was going to struggle with frames, and the qualifying was a complete mess, and those sort of little chicane things. And I got all the graphics turned down here, so I got absolutely no visual cues on target for brake markers. So, it's all sense and feel around here. So, but the one thing that I've sort of learnt is to sort of just deal with the issue that I've got, and because I'm stuttering for frame rates and driving a little bit slower, it sort of resulted in a chance today to do the fuel saving strategy. And yeah, I knew it was going to work quite well. It doesn't really matter where you start because I think it's about 40-second pit lane around here. So whether you started 10th, whether you started nearly near the back, as long as you had a good sort of clean run, and hopefully the guy that pits gets sort of stuck up in a little bit of traffic like Road Atlanta. And yeah, pretty much just paid off dividends today. So it was a really good race with Ian. I sort of knew by about lap 15 that as soon as he got in front of me and he sort of switched the mode to fuel saving, so I sort of knew, even though we were 4th and 5th, this is going to be the battle towards the end of the race. So we're in a ferocious little battle for quite a good long time. And yeah, I was a little bit shocked when he spun it, but he caught back up. He drove really well, but there wasn't really too much I could just do. I was just sort of coasting towards the end with the not so much the fuel, it's just the computer. I was all fuel saved up by about 25. So we know it works quite well around here. I think in the colder weather you burn probably a little bit more fuel, but at the start I was able to save quite more than I expected to, with just the way the sort of race panned out the first few laps. So it was quite okay.
Awesome. Well, hopefully it won't be too much longer till you can get that computer up into shape to where it's not causing you much problems anymore. But well, good to see you here in the race, and a great run. Second place is nothing to sneeze at, especially on such a difficult race as Zolder here, especially while fuel saving.
Yeah, I love the fuel saving rounds. They give it. It's sort of fun. We're able to sort of pace each other, but as soon as I start dropping frames, I just start making weird, uncanny mistakes that you sort of never see me done in the past, and I start sliding. And, it can be 1 metre of a brake marker I miss all of a sudden because my frames have dropped down from 60 back to 40. So it's quite a difficult problem I have to drive with. I don't think anyone actually, I mean, who's got the issue, that they'll understand. It's damn hard. So all I can do at the moment is just do what I do, and yeah, it seems to work well. And today I sort of used that problem I have to do the fuel saving option, and yeah, it was going to work Mickey Mouse, and it came up quite well. So we could move on to most sport next week, I believe.
Yeah, most sport I believe will be a little or a lot better on the graphics card. Actually, Zolder, a tough track on the graphics side of things. So hopefully next week will go a little bit smoother for you.
Yeah, it's definitely a track that I've never really had too much luck with in the past. I mean, I had a really fantastic battle there with Marty Carroll quite a fair few seasons ago. I think it was about 30, 40 laps nearly that whole race. And it's a track I don't sort of gel well with. It's sort of like Phillip Island with the long sweeping corners, but it's a fun little place, and yeah, we'll see how we go. Just got a couple more weeks to sort of focus on, and yeah, just keep doing what I'm doing at the moment. And if there's any more sort of fuel saving races, I'll jump on board to give it a shot because I love it. It's just something different, and yeah, these races are always great when you get to chuck in a couple of strategies. So hopefully it was a good viewing today.
Yeah, this has definitely been the season for strategy, that's for sure. About every race here is called for some kind of strategy. Only one or two sprints that I can recall. And other than that, there's been a lot of strategy this season. So I think somebody said next season was looking like a lot of the same. Like we're going to see a lot of strategy next season as well. So uh, maybe so. If so, it'll definitely be enjoyable as well. I like it either way. I like the sprint races where it's a good close hard racing for the entire time, and then I like the strategy stuff as well. So it can go either way for me. I just love watching the races.
Oh, most definitely, and even in the real V8s like last week when they were at Barbagallo, you saw some options like Craig Lowndes, he got a new set of tyres, did an extra pit stop, just came through the field, or the Sunday race where Mark Winterbottom did the sort of fuel saving driving to a number, sort of like me or what Ian and I did today, and yeah, it just sort of shows you I guess we sort of watch what they do in real life, and sometimes we'll sort of apply it, and if we get a chance to sort of try it in one of these races, it's sort of cool. Like I like the feeling, and you got to be really switched on. And if fuel saving's not easy, it's not an easy job to keep the apex speed up. But the guys that can do it, sometimes it can really pay off dividends. And yeah, we'll see what happens next season. If there's more strategies, that's great. Hopefully, there'll be some races where it's not so much fuel saving, it's just a bit more battling because sometimes you're just sort of coasting and following each other. But otherwise, this season's been pretty good. It's actually been pretty good, the strategy. Some of the races have been a bit long, but some of the races that we've had with the options variables with the strategy and some of the obviously the awesome tracks, anything can happen next season. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of more guys progressing through, and hopefully they keep evolving and developing, and hopefully next season's a bigger, better season, eh?
Yeah, I'm hearing rumors that next season some other drivers that have taken some time off will come back and give it a shot next season. So hopefully next season will be a little bit bigger, and I'm looking forward to that. It'll be nice to see some faces that we haven't seen in a while, and yeah, so hopefully that's what we see happen. Thanks, Marlon, for coming and having a word with me after the race here today. A great job bringing it home in second, having fuel saved the entire race. So that was a good result here at Zolder.
Cheers, thank you, and well done for broadcasting on your own. It's always a hard job.
It is tough, but I find it a lot easier on the V8 Supercars for some reason than I do the NASCAR stuff. Maybe it's familiarity with not only the drivers but the group that watches. Yeah, I feel like I can make mistakes or screw up, and they're not going to really hammer me for it. Where during the NASCAR stuff, it just seems like it's a lot tougher. But these V8 Supercar races, they tend to go a lot better for me.
It's fantastic to hear that you enjoy it, and as we said, each and every week, all of us just love racing, and we all try to put on a good little show, no matter what broadcast or what event it is. Just got to go out there and do what you do and love it, and yeah, we always appreciate the effort you guys, and not just yourself, all the guys behind the scenes and JD put in. So keep it up, and we'll see what happens over the next few seasons.
Awesome, awesome job, Marlon, and we will see you next week at Mosport.
No worries. Take care.
You too. Now let's talk to Victor Tanaka. Victor with a great start to the race, up up at the front for nearly the entire thing. Thought there for a while you were following Sanjin, maybe fuel saving, trying to just kind of follow him to meet some numbers. Ultimately, you ended up hitting pit road and brought her home in 8th place. What do you say about the race tonight, Victor?
Hey, what's up, Kane? Sorry about not being around to help you out tonight, but I really felt like racing.
Oh, that's fine. You did a great job out there.
Yeah, it could have been better. I should have been right with Senjin there at the end, and maybe in front of him if I didn't mess up the pit stop. I just realized that I could have taken half as much fuel as I did, and my pit stop would have been a lot easier, a lot faster. But yeah. Anyways, at the end there, we're just pushing too much to catch Senjin and made a mistake, and those two guys got by, I believe. Michael and Michael and the other guy was racing with him. But yeah, just lost 2 places there at the end. But yeah, the plan was always to take the pit stop because I didn't think. I just thought it would be faster because even if with the fuel saving, you're gonna use the tires all the way through, and I thought that pitting and taking tires would be a little bit faster, at least for me. But yeah, I couldn't get past Senji in the beginning there, and that's why I just settled down behind him. Tried the undercut, but with my, taking too much fuel, the undercut didn't work at all, and actually had to do a few passes at the end there. But still pretty good race. Was pretty happy with the pace, and I think, at the end of the day, Marlon and Ian would have always finished in front of us that who pitted anyways. Even if they pitted, they would have been in front. So I don't think it made too much difference.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think by just losing about a second a lap, yeah, it was going to be close, but I think ultimately they were still going to be out in front. But kind of just got to do what you're comfortable with, and if you're not, got a lot of experience with fuel saving and things, probably pitting is probably the better option for you. And a great battle for the first half of the race. It was definitely fun to watch. So definitely a great race, I would say. I'd say you can go home from this one and be happy with a great race.
Yeah, that was definitely a great battle with Senjin, but this track is just so narrow, and if you're not, if you're not a lot faster than the guy in front of you, and if he doesn't make a mistake, it's nearly impossible to pass. You really have to, the guy has to hit the grass or something for you to be able to put side by side. But it was still a lot of fun. Senjin's a great driver, and he definitely had a lot of fun in that race.
Well, and it shows a lot of how far you're coming as a driver to where you realize that fact and realize that the difficulty in getting the pass done, and you don't throw it in there and make contact and possibly hurt your race or someone else's race. And we've seen that with other cars throughout the field where getting around the car in front is just so tough that they threw it in at an awkward spot or something, made some contact and cost both drivers a lot of time. Whereas you realized early on that getting around Sanjin with your guys' pace being so close was going to be difficult. So you decided to just kind of tuck in and wait and see if he made a mistake. That's the longer you're in the car, the more you kind of learn about that kind of stuff, and it's really starting to show with you that you're really starting to come a long way in that regard.
Yeah, thanks, Kane. Yeah, I was looking at the lap times closely, and every time I tried something, we would lose a second. And, I could have maybe been a tenth, maybe two faster than him every lap. So, 3 attempts on passing him would cost me 3 seconds, which means 10 laps in front of him. It's worth 10 laps in front of him. So, yeah, sometimes it's just not worth battling at all, and yeah, you have to really think of the bigger picture. And this was a pretty long race, so definitely the best idea to stay behind him. And I would have probably undercut him if I didn't mess up my pit stop.
Well, thanks for joining me in the post-race show, Victor. Great race. Nice seeing you out there racing again. And you going to race next week at Mosport?
Mosport, wow. I wasn't, but Mosport, I love that track, so I might actually race.
Mosport is a fun little track. It's got its difficulties, but it is definitely a fun little track. It'll be exciting to watch next week.
Yeah, that definitely takes this car to its limits, and a very, very technical track. So that's one of those tracks that actually makes you really learn how to drive the V8. You know, if you can get around that track consistently, you're gonna be good at any track. So yeah, that's a very, very technical track.
All right, well, congratulations on a good run here at Zolder, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you later, Ken. Thanks for the broadcast again.
You're quite welcome. Well, everybody, thank you for watching this edition of the V8 Supercars America series. Tune in next week, as hopefully we'll have JD back by then, and we'll bring in the race here at Mosport. There's not going to be a Wednesday broadcast for the NASCAR race. NASCAR taking the week off next week, so just be back next Friday for a great race at Mosport. So tune in then. Thanks everybody for watching here on iRacing Live and on the V8s Online YouTube channel, and we'll see you next week.
Contact free! Boys, contact free!
Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship